Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. And with us today is a professional wake surfer who's not only the first Arab female wake surfing competitor, but also recently won 5 medals at the Wakesurfing WRS 2022. Without further ado, let's ride the wave with Rasha Al Ghoussaini. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I think we've been talking about this for a while to host me on the show. I think we started the conversation in September.
Yeah.
But
last year.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time in the making.
But yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you.
But who am I talking to? Am I talking to Rasha or am I talking to Anna Wintour?
No, definitely Rasha.
Just a stylish
it's the haircut. It's
throwing us off.
Yeah.
And the blazer like so high end and with your vibes all the way. So before we went on break, I accidentally said wakeboarding, right? Can you explain to people the difference between wake surfing and wakeboarding and where the misconception comes from?
Yeah, sure. I mean, first of all, like you don't have to feel about it. It's an extreme common misperception. So with the difference between the two sports, with wakeboarding, you have boots tied into your feet and then you're attached to a rope behind the boat. With wake surfing, you're barefoot on the board and there's no rope. So you're just running on your own.
Okay, so it's different with surfing as well.
Yes, absolutely. That's ocean surfing. So you do it on a wave, like on natural waves in the ocean. With wake surfing, it's the wake of the boat. So there are special boats that create a specific wave that you can ride
so you go behind the boats?
Yes.
And how did you get into this? Why did you get into this?
Well, great question. The why, I don't know.
It just happened.
It just happened. How it happened was a regular, night out with friends. And they're like, what are you doing on the weekend? I'm not doing anything. We're going wake surfing. Want to try it? Said, yeah, sure, why not? So that was in Feb, just before COVID. And I went out with them a couple of times. I really enjoyed it. Like, you cannot go wrong being in the water under the sun. And this is how it started. Then COVID hit, stuck at home doing nothing. And guess what? The first thing that opened up was water sports.
Yeah.
Because it's up out in the air, so the risk is really minimal. And I was like, you know what, I enjoyed it, let me continue. At least I'm working out, exercising, doing something outside of, being stuck in a room. And shortly enough, I was like, okay, there's a very good coach. I just want to say a big shout out for my coach, Juju. So she is the world champion in her category, And so she took me under her wing and was like, I'm happy to coach you. I see there's potential. And I was like, okay. And
I was going to ask.
So it was like a wake-up call.
Yeah. It's never late. It's never late.
Well, no, I was going to ask, it's kind of a niche sport, right?
Yeah.
And for there to be competitions and ways you can indulge and dive right into it. How do you find the resources? No pun intended at all. But how do you find your people? How do you find your community and someone to guide you to where you want to take this professionally?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. In the beginning, I was like, okay, very random. I'm doing it on my own. So I didn't necessarily interact a lot with the community. But guess what? Like after my first competition, that again, Juju really pushed me hard. Like that wasn't ever my intention to start competing. But then it became a good challenge and milestone for me to push myself to learn more and work out more. So the community is really small, especially in Dubai. It's not a big sport. Like you have a lot of people who do it for fun, like taking pictures for Instagram and stuff. But in terms of like taking it a bit further, it's really small. Even globally, I think there's around like 3,000 people who do that. Okay. It's extremely niche. It's mainly extremely popular in the US, parts of Europe, and as well in Hong Kong and South Korea. So these are like the hot spots for wake surfing. And then we have Dubai.
Okay, so You told us before the show, like usually see with like sportsmen, those competing, they dedicate their full life, not life, the time and effort into like the preparations to go and compete. But for you, you said you have a job as well.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. How do you balance the two, and where do you work?
Yeah. So again, COVID really helped create a different mindset and usage of my time. So especially that you're working from home, so you're working technically longer hours, which meant in the morning I can take some time for myself. But again, the sport requires really flat water, and for us to get flat water, it means I need to be on the water by 6 a.m. So I wake up at 4:30, 5:30, depending on the session, but usually 6 or 6:30 I'll be on the water riding. I do an hour and a half, and then come back. I'll be home by 8, shower, get ready. Like I'm ready to take the first call by 9:30.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Did you go every day during COVID?
No, I started going 3 times a week during COVID, but now I think it's been almost a year now where I'm doing it 4 times a week. So I wake surf one day, the next day I have my PT. I work a lot on like mobility and flexibility.
Okay.
Because one feeds the other. Like I need to stay fit and flexible and have proper stamina and strength for me to be able to maintain.
So before you, sorry, go on.
No, you go.
I just want to ask, like, before you got into this, were you previously surfing or doing any other water sports that made you so familiar with this activity?
I wish I didn't even work out before. I didn't even work out. So for me, this was like a major shift in my lifestyle. If I worked out, it would have been like extremely ad hoc, random, once in a while. Oh, let me try kickboxing, do a couple of sessions. Okay, next. But since I started, so I'd say since May of 2020 till now, it's been something extremely consistent, unless I'm out of town on vacation or something. But every day is a workout day.
How has it changed your lifestyle? Because you said you're taking all these like PT classes for mobility. How else has it impacted your life?
Yeah. So first of all, I feel better. Like it definitely gives you a overall mood and motivational, uplift. But I used to be a night owl. So wake up, I need to catch every single minute of Netflix, TV, whatever, social media, playing games. And I used to go to bed literally like past midnight every night. And this is exhausted me, right? Now like my average bedtime is usually between 10:30. Like if I really push it, it would be 11. So I still get enough time to sleep. But the most important thing about this whole experience for me is that I was able to find something for myself and something that I enjoy. It gives me a lot of peace. It's like equivalent of meditation. So that's my type of meditation, being on the water, doing my sport. I'm so focused, watching the sunrise, like the most beautiful thing you can see. So yeah, it changed my lifestyle in that perspective, especially like being here. You guys know it probably. Dubai is all about like work, and then you get to the weekend. Okay, now we have to party, and then Groundhog Day all over again.
Yeah.
So for me, this allowed me to really find a lot of balance and quality of life. Like definitely have improved.
Would you think it's important to have that balance, especially for people in the corporate world who are just like 9 to 6 jobs, and then back home, preparing their meals for the next day, and it's just like a very monotonous schedule. So would you recommend or like advise them to find and develop a hobby like this, not like this, like, or any hobby?
Yeah, honestly, I'd say absolutely they should, irrespective of time. Time is never a constraint. It's all up here. This is what's limiting us. Again, we have all the time in the world. It's a matter of how we prioritize our time and rejig our schedule to accommodate something like that. And you gotta keep at it. there were times in the beginning where when my alarm went off at like 4:30 or 5 a.m. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to get out of bed now. But then guess what? Within a split second, just
It's
get,
But what
get
makes
out,
you
get out.
that what like has you deciding at that point like no I'm gonna push through like because it's not easy you know like
Yeah.
you make it sound easy that no like that next second I was up but
Yeah,
like what
it's the feeling that I get after it. The
Okay.
joy that you get after it motivates me. It's like, oh, do I want to like wake up, have a coffee, you know, be grumpy in the morning, get to the office, and like it's all like rush, 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 or do I want to feel joy?
Yeah.
okay
Yeah, and just the feeling of what you're gonna get out of it motivates me to get out of bed.
That's amazing.
I love
So
that
you recently won 5 medals just towards the end of last year as well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
what the preparation process? What goes into it?
Yeah.
You know, because people might not understand the implications and considerations and factors that go into the sport. How tough was it getting all 5 medals?
Yeah. So the medals are spread across a season, and the season is usually 11 months.
Okay.
So it's almost a full year, and every month there would be a competition. It could be a live competition, it could be an online competition where we take a video with specific, you know, requirements for us to qualify. And then what this does is you keep accumulating points during these competitions, and then towards the end of the season, in my category, the top 8 will be invited to the World Championship.
okay
So I was able to do that, thankfully, the first year. I got to the World Championship. I ranked 8th, but still good. And this year the results are still not out for the final season. But what is currently out was the Asian Continental Championship where I came second. But this, like you said, it takes a lot of work. So it's every month preparing. You need to I need to choreograph almost my line of tricks. So it's not just going and improvising what you were gonna do on the wave. You're working against time. There are certain regulations, how many drops or falls I get. You get scored on the difficulty of the tricks, the intensity, the variety of the tricks, and on the execution of the tricks. So all this requires a lot of preparation for you to make sure that you're gonna, you know, hopefully do the best that you can on the day.
and the next competition for you is what
I'm waiting for the new season to be announced. So yeah.
okay incredible
But you can create the circumstances for the season, right? It just needs to be flat water, basically. Is that the only thing that nature is stopping you from?
Yes, flat water, and definitely like anyways, if there's no wind, you're always gonna get flat water. So yeah.
And before we wrap up this interview, a pressing question that I had to ask you from the very beginning, or like since I saw you, your gloss. So on fleek. What gloss is this?
Am I allowed to say the name of the brand?
Yeah, of course.
So it's a Dior Addict.
Yeah, because I can't stop staring. Like it's just, it has me hooked.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for hosting me.
If anyone wants to, pleasure's all ours, man. If anyone wants to learn more about wakesurfing, how they can get involved, learn more about you, how can they get that?
So, they can follow me on Instagram @shushi, and I'll be more than happy as well to answer any questions and connect them, you know, with my coach. I'm happy if anyone wants to come and, you know, have a fun session with me. You're more than welcome, both of you as well.
Let's go, please. I'm not
I want to catch the sunrise. Like you just make it sound so appealing.
When we wake up.
Well, on the weekend it's a bit more flexible. So usually I do it around 7 or 8.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in.
Well, I like the 4 a.m.
During the week, yeah.
You go for the 4 a.m. I'll go for the 7.
It's nice. It's nice. I used to be scared from water, by the way, and then I had to surf a couple of times when it's dark. Like literally, you don't see anything. That was around JBR, but looking at the city, the lights, like
Oh my
it's
God.
beautiful, beautiful.
Do you have to buy your own boat now?
No, thankfully not, and I don't want to.
Oh, you don't want to? You don't see plans of buying a boat for yourself?
No, not this time around. It takes a lot of maintenance. They break down. These boats are mostly designed and produced for fresh water and not seawater. So in seawater, they require a lot of maintenance. Then you need to have a captain to drive the boat. You need to have a crew to maintain it and stuff like that. So between the sport, the job, my social life, my family, like I think yeah, I don't need one more thing on my plate.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been such a pleasure. So nice learning all about the sport. Guys, that is it from us. It's Friday. You know what that means?
It's the weekend.
It's the weekend.
Go forth, conquer the weekend, and
try wake surfing.
Yeah, get on the waters if you have the chance. And we will catch you Monday morning, same time, same place. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.